Ivy here with us today. I know that you were present at the last meeting, and unfortunately, we didn't have quorum, so we couldn't vote. So if the representatives from Ivy Mix are here, if you can just briefly summarize your application for us all, that would be great. And for the other applicants, we just ask that you through your application, you tell us a little bit about your business, and then board members and community resident members have the opportunity to ask you questions. So if we can have Ivy Mix come off of mute, that would be great.
Hi, so I am Ivy Connor.
Hi.
We are the owners of Fiasco Wine and Spirits on Rogers and Union. We are in the process of trying to obtain a liquor license for a new wine bar at the old bar that was called Branch Office, 225 Rogers, in between Union and President. This is our second time in front of the board, but as you just said, there wasn't enough members present to do a vote. I'll let Connor kind of explain a little bit about the bar. He did the spiel last time. He was good at it.
Sure, yeah. So the plan, apologies.
Sorry.
We're at the shop right now. It's
Yeah.
the holidays, so we're a little
Busy.
pressed for time. But yes, so the bar will be kind of an extension of the shop in a way. We often have tastings here where people are very excited about what we're offering. But there's really no place to kind of sit down and enjoy those things at a kind of high level of service. And so we're looking to take over this space across the street at 225 Rogers to be kind of like a casual neighborhood wine bar where we'll have mostly wine as the focus, but we'll also have beer, non-alcoholic items, some cocktails, light snacks for food. I believe there were a few questions last time about our hours. So just to reiterate, our standard hours will be closing at midnight. With the backyard, we intend to close at 11 p.m. We are applying for a 2 a.m. license just for the maybe less than 5 times per year, say
New
New
Year's.
Year's, maybe a private event where we will be open past midnight, but it would never be significantly later than that. We will be soundproofing the space as well to ensure that the tenants upstairs are well insulated from any noise, but we don't anticipate noise actually being too much of a problem. Music will be played at a more ambient level. The previous tenant, being more of a dive bar, tended to have a little bit more activity that was a bit louder. That's not really our intention here. We just hope to be a really nice kind of neighborhood spot to serve what we've wanted to do and what people have been really looking for and asking for us from, basically extending what we do here over there in more of a service-oriented way.
Yeah, we put our like little signature page up, and we just filled every page we had in 2 days. People were so excited about the prospect of us bringing something to the neighborhood. I own a bar in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn. It's a cocktail bar called Leyenda. We've been open for 8.5 years. Connor and I own this place together. Additionally, we have, we're in the middle of the shop right now, but additionally, our business partner Piper owns Oxalis, that's up on Washington Avenue in Lincoln Place, and also Plastifet over in Fort Greene. So there's a lot of experience between us. Mm-hmm. And I've lived in the neighborhood personally for 16 years. So I'm really excited to have a fun place to go to in the neighborhood. And anything, and we can answer any questions. I know we've already kind of done this, so we're happy to answer any questions. We're really excited. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, so being that you all did present to us in our last board meeting, I'm not going to have you go through the entire question process again. We want to keep this really brief. Sure. Do you have a question? If you can just make it really brief, that would be great.
Yes, my question is to you, Janelle. So now, just to get an understanding, you have Fiasco, this wine and bar that's trying to open, but through no fault of their own, last month they came here and couldn't make quorum, and now the same exact thing is
No, no.
happening.
No. Oh, Zhang, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So the reason as to why they couldn't make quorum is because we didn't have quorum, so there weren't enough board members to even vote.
Yeah, no, no, I understand that. I understand that. What I'm saying is, last month we couldn't make quorum to vote on their application, and now again the same thing is happening to them, which is delaying them to be able to clear the procedural hurdle to move on with their business. So if through no fault of their own they're not able to get this vote, what do they do?
Colleague, can you advise on that, please?
Yeah, so yeah, just to answer your question, you actually do have quorum now. It's
Oh,
four
no.
plus, yeah. So it's half your members plus one. And in that case, it will just go to the executive committee and they would decide based on the summary that Janelle would provide during the executive committee meeting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you for
Good
the
news.
clarification.
And as mentioned, we will not be making votes, while you all are present. So Mia will be in touch with you regarding the decision. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Can we get the next applicant, the representatives from Baiju? Am I saying that right?
Hi, it's Bijou BK.
Okay. Hello. Sorry.
I'm Catherine Larisme. I'm co-owner of Bijou BK, located on 1017 Nostrand Avenue. I am open.
Hi,
Oh,
I'm sorry, Catherine. I just turned on my camera. But this is Sandra Han representing BGBK. Actually representing Catherine Larisme. I'm just gonna pass the floor to her a little bit later. Just please excuse me for interruption. Just gonna summarize a little bit regarding the establishment. So we are located at 1017 Nostrand Avenue. That's between Park Boulevard and Sterling Street. The establishment is actually brand new, so it's pretty much like we went through brand new construction. It's a brand new restaurant. It's gonna be a Caribbean fusion establishment. We're limited seating about 16 chairs at the low dining tables, and we're proposing to have a customer bar with 11 bar stools. And the current operation that we would like to propose is gonna be from Monday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Friday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. So we're gonna close early. So Mrs. Catherine would like to propose to have background music pretty much every day. And also live music is gonna be acoustical and instrumental, mostly on the weekends from Friday to Sunday. And pretty much we are planning to have about four employees on site. It's really a small scale restaurants and a one floor. It's about less than 700 square feet. And also we have a full kitchen. It's already built up and ready to open hopefully this month, December. And also I would like to pass the floor to Mrs. Catherine just to talk about her restaurant experience and also how, who she is as a business owner and neighbor as well. Catherine, I'm gonna pass the floor to you.
okay. Hello, everyone, once again. I'm Catherine. I've been a resident of the neighborhood for about 20 years. My family and I are homeowners here. During my college years, I went to Georgia State University, and I was back and forth. I have a family-owned restaurant, bar, and lounge also in Valley Stream, Long Island, and I waited and bartended there throughout my bachelor's and master's. And so now that I'm back after grad school, I'm currently working for D&B Engineers as a health and safety consultant for Mount Sinai Hospital. And I wanted to venture out and create my own restaurant, bar, and lounge for myself. I think that it will be great for the community and also great for myself and others.
And also the application, I forgot to mention, it's gonna be a full liquor license on premises. And that'll be for the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you. At this moment, does anyone have any questions? Maxine, I see you have a question.
Hello, everyone. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening. The community, the residents are extremely concerned about this proposed establishment, Bijou Brooklyn. We know that a bar, liquor sales is not needed, especially next door to an illegal smoke shop, Fly High. Especially with MS Middle School 61 steps away around the corner. St. Francis of Assisi within a block. The establishment is, again, it should not be allowed. There are huge problems on Nostrand Avenue between Empire Boulevard and Lefferts Place. I certainly recommend, and the community would want you to speak with the commanding officer, Hayward, at the 71st Precinct. Again, it is not needed. Liquor, I don't know why liquor and legal smoke shops have to be dumped on the corridors of our neighborhood. We are family oriented. We are raising children. It's a very small space, and it's primarily the business is liquor. It's a very small space, and you are showing to the community and children this huge bar. I don't even, maybe 2 chairs, I think. It's a very small restaurant. Again, the primary idea is to sell liquor, and that is not needed. It is not needed in our neighborhood. We have problems on that corner. Our children go to school and pass there every day. Every day. We have the Flatbush Avenue subway station that they utilize at Sterling Street and Nostrand Avenue. The Nostrand Avenue bus, B44, the B43. Our children are walking that street all the time. Again, we are deadly against liquor sales, setting an example. You teach by an example, and children emulate us. And that's all they see is liquor and fly high, illegal smoke shop. No, we don't want that in our community.
Barnes, I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry.
And please respond.
We
Thank
are,
you, Ms. Chair.
we are pressed for time, and we want to make sure that.
Yeah, well,
everyone
time
has
is certainly
opportunity.
important, and my time is important too. Very important. But so is this proposed liquor sale.
I
And you
completely
are
agree.
public safety. So
completely
I don't appreciate you rushing me through in time. If we don't have
No,
time,
ma'am.
then maybe we'll have a part.
No, ma'am, I'm
Thank
saying
you,
that we must be respectful of everyone's time. I want everyone to be able to ask a question. So
Respect, you have to give respect. You must be respectful of my statement as well. Thank you.
are there any other questions at this time? Kat B, I see you have a question. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's not necessarily a question, more so a response statement, and I'll try to make this brief, and I'm not trying to open this up for a negative back and forth, just more so progressive, understanding that it's public health, understanding children do emulate what they see. However, we have the opportunity to make these establishments showcase as, you know, respectful establishments that become community staples, and us as community members can make them community staples. Therefore, the children that are growing up in the neighborhood can see at least ownership, especially from those that live in the neighborhood and are able to like own a business in this neighborhood that creates this neighborhood as a thriving space, especially when you think about like financially and just using our power as business owners to create change in this neighborhood, especially when we talk about public safety. The reason why I joined the meeting today was I wanted to learn more like, what are we going to do with ADA access for train stations and things of that nation? But when we have more buying power, and sometimes buying power does come with eatery, since that is a bit easier, that's a way that we could probably put pressure on like our representatives in the community. So I do back it, and I do wish you, Catherine, all the luck and support. And I just went through the whole application process myself, and should you want to speak as new business owners in the area, I would love to connect further.
Thank you very much. Also, I wanted to input that I have my bachelor's in chemistry and a master's in biochemistry, and my plan with the revenue is definitely to implement STEM after schools into the local schools in the neighborhood and workshops for students, especially those, you know, of minority backgrounds or underprivileged. So that's definitely one of my goals with the revenue that this business brings in.
You can go ahead, Sang. I see you have your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Miss Larisme. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Apologize apologize if I'm not.
Yes.
Now, I cannot ignore what Ms. Barnes just said. Quite naturally, I'm all for entrepreneurship, so shout out to you. But at the same time, if Ms. Barnes is a part of the community, we can't ignore her voice as well. So
Definitely.
my question to you is, because I haven't had a chance to read the proposal from your application, because I just had a kid on Friday. So my question to you is, what has your establishment done to connect with the community, to hear their concerns, to make sure that their thoughts and sentiments are properly addressed?
So my establishment has been fully renovated and done for about the past 6 to 8 months. I've been out there every day speaking to those in the neighborhood. People are constantly walking past, asking when am I going to open. And I do see the young kids walking up and down after school, and they're really surprised. They're like, oh, what is this place? I'm like, it's food. They're surprised to see someone that looks like them owning something. And definitely, I think this would definitely help with those. I do see people in the neighborhood that are older, that is a different subject group drinking outside. And I think it would be good to have some place where people can sit inside, have beverages, and it's also a full service bar. It's not going to be a nightclub. It's not going to be open after hours. I'm trying to bring in a working class and definitely have like networking events for the community. So, and the smoke shop that's next door to me they recently opened. I don't have any affiliation with them. And there's smoke shops going up all around New York City. So, yeah.
Community? Yes, I am the president emeritus of the Sterling Street Block Association. I've been a homeowner in this neighborhood for 40 years. We have worked very hard to set an example and to clean up what has happened. I won't get into what has happened, but there is a record. There is a notorious and serious crime problem between Empire Boulevard and Lefferts. And yes, there are Black-owned businesses on Nostrand Avenue. Many have, by way of gentrification, been displaced, but we're holding our own. The children see Black-owned businesses. Mr. Brand's liquor store, he owned that for 40. When I came here, he owned that. And it was an icon of the community for those of you who have been there. There was no hanging out, Black-owned. The hardware store in the corner, Black-owned. And I can go on, and I won't, because you seem to be, well, the culture here seems to be that they don't want to hear from me, or especially, or the community. I do represent the community. And again, I'm president emeritus of the Sterling Street Block Association. Our children have an example of Black-owned business, and they see a lot of displacement. This is not what needs to be. And yes, there are, I believe, and someone can correct me, there's 1,500 smoke shops, only 4 legal. So no, it's not just this neighborhood, it's all neighborhood. But we have to set the example. We have to take the initiative. I don't know, many of you may know about the councilwoman who independently, I think it was the 32nd District, Councilwoman Joanne Ariola, if I'm pronouncing her. She independently went in to a illegal smoke shop just to close it, to purchase and risk her life, and she was successful in doing that. So please, I am begging that this liquor dispenser not be set up next to an illegal smoke shop steps away from Middle School 61 in St. Francis of Assisi. That is not what's supposed to happen. I would like to know, for those who have the resources and know more than me, and this public safety committee, is there a law to stop a certain amount of liquor being sold in a smoke shop next door within this 2-block radius, within, again, a train station and 2 bus stops? And as you say, Ms. Laura Samay, you've seen the children come there every day. It is not what needs to be done. Thank you, community, for listening to the community.
Thank you, Maxine. I do have a question for you. So one of the questions that we like to ask is, will you be hiring from the community directly?
Yes, I do plan on, but I also want to open my applications to everyone, not just only those from the community, but I will be. Yes.
Okay, are there any other questions at this moment from any other board members?
Also, I would like to include that I do have involvement with the 71st precinct, as well as the 67th precinct, as well as the 63rd precinct, because one of my co-owners, who is my mother, she's also my business partner. She's a retired NYPD officer. So we're very familiar with keeping the neighborhood safe, and I do plan on doing that to my best ability.
Thank you. So I just want to make it clear, that everyone's concerns, questions, and thoughts are valued in this space, and with that being said, we want to give everyone the opportunity to ask questions. So thank you all. Do we have the representative of the establishment Barb's with us this evening? If you
Oh,
could
yep,
just
that's
come off
me.
of mute. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm Brandon Knight. I'm the owner of Barb's Brooklyn. So we are planning to open a cafe and wine bar on Nostrand between Sterling and Lefferts. So I know it's a bit of a controversial, spot, but first and foremost, like Barb's, we are looking to be a community space. Has a cafe in the daytime from the hours of 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. and then transition over to a wine bar from the hours of from 5 to 10 during the week, and then on the weekend until 11 p.m. A big thing for us is just like pouring into the community. Like we don't want to just come in and open, just a space where people can come and like consume alcohol. I think a big thing that we do and that like my background is in is programming. So we really like want to focus on community cleanups, um, registering people to vote, hosting paint nights, teaching people how to, become graphic designers, just very community specific events um, that we can, pour into the community. We also plan to hire within the community. We've lived on Rogers and President now for a few years, and yeah, we know that there's a ton of people in the neighborhood that are looking for opportunities and that need a safe space to come. My background is in culinary, so my mother is Barb. She has Southern roots, and my father's Jamaican, so we're going to be doing a combination of like small plates that focus on those two items. Here for any questions if anyone has any.
Can you talk a little bit to your hours of operation?
Yep. We plan to be open every day, 8 a.m. for the coffee program, and then we'll close at 3 p.m. Um, and then we'll transition at 5 p.m. We'll open back at 5 p.m. and we'll be open until 10 p.m. and then 11 p.m. On Fridays and Saturdays.
Thank you. Are there any questions from board members at this moment? Teresa?
Yeah,
Oh,
hi.
Calvin. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot to raise my hand. Here we go. Hi, I just wanted to ask you, like, have you spoken like to the neighbors? Are there people that live above you? Things like that. Have you,
I've I've been I have been on the block. Sorry to cut you off. Did you have something else to say to that?
no, go ahead. You can answer.
Yeah,
You pretty much.
there's two units above us. There's Miss Sandra, and then there's like a couple, Erica and Timothy. They've been in the building for some time. They're very excited. They also signed our petition. Um, yeah, I've also been speaking to neighbors within the community. I've been walking around, going up and down the street. I've had the doors open as we've been clearing and cleaning out the space from the past business that was there, and have had a chance to get to know everybody, or not everybody, but gotten the chance to get to know a decent amount of people.
Uh-huh. Are you planning on having live music there?
I mean, that's not live music. That's like, I mean, yes, to a degree, but it'll be like more acoustic type vibes. We're not looking to do anything rowdy. We've also like talked to the neighbors about this, and our plan is to soundproof the walls a bit
Uh-huh.
better than they are right now. but more like piano vibes. We're looking to do like poetry evenings and just calm events of that nature.
So you are soundproofing the walls?
We are
How-
soundproofing the walls, yes.
Like you're bringing in someone to,
Yes.
okay.
So my landlord is a builder, so he plans to help with that as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Kavi. Are there any other questions? Maxine?
Yes.
Hand up.
Hello, Bob's. Yes, I live right around the corner from you. And I remember the bagel shop, so it's not going to be a bagel shop any longer.
And we will carry some bagels. We'll have bagels in the morning, some light bites in the morning, pastries, things of that nature.
Okay, well, that was a very good establishment. It was beautifully run. And yes, it closed early. It closed, I believe, like at 3 o'clock. And they did a wonderful business. My point is that liquor is not the only lucrative business. If you look over at Chase Manhattan Bank and you see that little makeshift fruit stand, they're making a killing. We need essential services. But back to your establishment. It's a beautiful place. It was well done. It gave homage to the original Black owner, Ken's Printing. And it was a beautiful, like a Barbara tribute to him. Very nice. He's passed away. But moving on, that concerns me, music. And you say you reached out. I have a Black Association sign, and I'm right around. You could touch me. You could pass me. You could pass me some of your product. But moving on, I'm very concerned about the music. Extremely concerned. You say from Monday through Thursday, 3 to 11 p.m. Is that correct?
3 p.m. is when we'll
Oh, no,
close the
that was,
coffee service,
sorry.
but yeah, from 5 to 10.
From
would
5
be
to
those.
10.
Yes,
Okay, and from 8 a.m. in the morning to 3 p.m., you close and then open back up at 5.
correct. Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct? And the
Yes,
weekends until 11. Yeah, again, it is problematic on that from Nostrand Avenue, that corridor. And if you notice, you said you've looked around the neighborhood, all of you, you see that it's residential. We have families who are raising children. And we're very concerned about music until 11 o'clock at night. Okay, it is not but you don't want liquor, you just want wine and beer. Is that what
Wine, and that for that reason specifically, and
I
like
appreciate that.
when it comes to music, I think that we're very aware of like where we are. So, certain music, like we're not trying to play, like certain events we're not trying to host. We're very conscious of our community. We pour into kids. We do food insecurity programs. So I hear what you're saying, and like we're very aware of where we are. We used to run a pop-up not too far up the street on President and Rogers, and so we're very familiar, just with the area in general and like our intentions for it. So I appreciate your words. And your
Okay, and
concern.
I would ask that you would consider to close earlier. And yeah, it sounds as if the genre is very important. Some jazz, some light, a piano would be ideal.
Exactly, that's the vibe.
Okay, we are very concerned. And again, all you got to do is look at the record and speak to. You don't have to be a police officer or no one. You can just look at the numbers and see what has happened. And I'll walk around and tell you what has happened. Okay, I appreciate you listening, Bob, and responding accordingly. So again, to summarize, please consider earlier. And I love your idea about the genre and liquor. No liquor, just the wine and beer. I think would be enough. I don't even want that. But thank you for your consideration and understanding my neighborhood that I have fought hard for years.
Yes, ma'am.
To keep it clean and to keep it safe. Thank you.
We also plan to honor Ken, the printing the company that was there. We're going to keep his
Yes, him
signage
and
inside the
Evelyn.
building.
They were there for 40 years. We have Black
Yes,
businesses. We set examples. Thank you.
Thanks, Maxine. Teresa, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah. Hi. I just wanted to check in. I was looking up the business on the internet, of course, And I saw that there's like Barb's Bed-Stuy and other affiliations. Is it
There's no
related to that?
affiliation. No, there's
It's
Barb's
no?
Bed-Stuy. So I think that we might have to potentially change our DBA to Miss Barb's just so people can differentiate on the maps. But yeah, they are a bar in Bed-Stuy that's like a dive bar. So yeah, there's no
And you were doing
affiliation.
pop-ups up on Rogers, like
Yes,
on
ma'am.
off of President?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I think I saw some of those. It's like kind of near where that Fiasco,
Very near
across from Fiasco.
Fiasco. They were our
Yeah,
neighbors.
yeah, okay, yeah. I saw some things happening over there. I live up a little bit from Empire, but thank you. Sounds great. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you so much. At this time, we are going to move to our next applicant, Dia NYC. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, hello, thank you. You have the floor.
How are you? I'm Michael Kelly representing the applicant. With me is June Gessner Jolly and Jerry Jolly. They're the two owners. This is an on-premise liquor license application for Daya NYC LLC, located at 642 Rogers Avenue between Parkside and Clarkson. The premise was formerly a brewery, the House of Jews, then it was Island to Island, then Robin's Cafe. We're opening a tavern with a Latin-themed menu. We have 11 tables with 23 seats and a 9-seat bar inside. There are 10 tables with 29 seats in the yard. We have background music, a jukebox, and we'll offer neighborhood DJs a chance to play their music on our equipment. The volume will be low and not entertainment level. We will be installing additional soundproofing to ensure that we do not disturb our neighbors. Our indoor hours will be 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., outdoor hours 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. The closing times will probably be earlier depending on our customers. The owner, June Gessner, has lived at 330 Lenox Road since 1985. It is about 4 blocks away. He still lives there. He knows the neighborhood, the people living in the area, and expects most of his clientele will be the neighborhood residents. His brother Jerry also grew up in the neighborhood, is the other owner, and he's a retired NYPD officer. There is one other premise within 500 feet, so we don't come under the 500-foot rule. We will be bringing an experienced manager in while Gessner or June learns the ropes. All employees will be from the immediate area, people June knows or people recommended by friends who live around there. As to the backyard, there's a commercial building behind us and high solid walls on the sides. We'll also be building a covering above the yard and also have umbrellas over the tables. We submitted 42 signatures from the area, 4 from our building, which has 2 apartments and a residence from both sides, 1 from 640 Rogers, 2 from 644 Rogers, both abutting us, 17 others from Rogers Avenue, and the rest from close by. June was out talking to everyone in the neighborhood, and that's where he got signatures. And if there's any questions, or June, I'm sorry, would like to jump in and add a little something.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Michael. So yeah, I'll just, reintroduce myself. So my name is Justin Jolie. I grew up in the neighborhood on Lenox Road, my whole life. I'm very familiar with the community. I've seen the community change and evolve over the years through gentrification and the different businesses that's come in and out. I'm fully aware of, safety concerns and things of that matter. When the opportunity presented itself as a dedicated entrepreneur, my aim was just, my daughter as well. She's 7 years old. She, lives in the community as well. I wanted to show her that, we can establish successful businesses right here in the community and reinvest in the community I grew up in. Is something that's, a driving factor behind, opening this business. And also working with my brother who also grew up in this community, who's a retired police officer, and be able to bring something where people can dine in and create memories. Jerry, I don't know if you want to add anything. And
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm basically, I mean, it's hard to actually top what you just said. Everything sounded amazing. I grew up in Brooklyn, been all my life. I was a police officer for 23 years. I also was in the military. And I do understand your concern, Ms. Barnes. Obviously, it's not just about alcohol, but I think it's about bringing everybody in a space that we could all thrive. I think one of the major issues I realized when I was a police officer is that I dealt with both kids and adults. And one of the things I think we need, I think a young lady said it earlier, we need people that look like us, that are doing things in a positive light. It doesn't always have to be something that's negative on the news. And I think my brother and I are trying to reinvest into the community. And I think time will show that we are doing something positive, and we're always going to have our ears open to the community. You know, we'll always be open to addressing certain things. I absolutely hope you guys just give us the opportunity to prove ourselves.
Thank you all so much. I have two questions. So my first question is, will you be hiring from the community directly? And my other question is, would you all be open to like partnering with the public safety committee on an event or something of the future, you know, with your establishment? So those are my two questions.
Okay, let you answer that.
Definitely. Me growing up in the community, I know a lot of bartenders that I grew up with, you know, waiters, servers. Actually was speaking to one of the servers at one of the other establishments down the street that had stopped by, you know, while we're working in the space. And, you know, she had inquired about working there as well. And she was telling me about other people that she knew that lived across the street that would love to work in the space. And in terms of like community partnering with the public safety committee and with any community events, we would love, we would be honored to host any events that you guys would want to have at the space. I think I've attended numerous community events, and I think it would be we would be honored to host you guys if we're given the opportunity.
And if you don't mind, I just want to add one thing. I'm sorry, really quick. I am in close contact with the community affairs officer from the 7-1 precinct, and obviously there's always concern. When I was a police officer, one of the things we did was we would talk to the church, we would talk to the local community leaders and find out what issues need to be addressed. So we're definitely open to that, because no successful business is going to thrive without us engaging with safety and along with trying to hear what concerns you guys have, of course.
Awesome. Thank you for answering my questions. Kavi, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, hi guys. Sounds like a really beautiful space. My only question is, you're having music, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Live music, right? So and it's an indoor-outdoor space, right?
Yes.
So and then it's outdoor space till, did you say 12 a.m. during the week and 2 a.m. on the weekends?
No, so basically, we're not going to be playing any music or any speakers. We'll be hooked up outside. Any music, any background music will be played through the house speakers indoors only, and we're fully soundproofing the inside of the space. And on the outdoor area, we're closing at 12 a.m. Every day. We'll probably do it earlier depending on the customers. If, we're not going to kick anybody out, but that's what I plan on doing.
And so soundproofing is amazing, but like if people are walking in and out to go to the back eating area, it's kind of like the doors are going to be open, hopefully often for you guys. But I'm just a little concerned about that it's pretty late for a weekday, 12 a.m. I'm just finding that a little, even like having people outside, it get a little noisy. People sometimes go into restaurants, a lot of people are talking, and this 2 a.m. is like at 2 a.m. on the weekends even. It's a little, it's a neighborhood restaurant, right? It's not really that's really the only thing that would kind of concern me a little. The music being that since it's an indoor-outdoor space, would it carry over to outside? And the fact that it's 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. They're pretty late hours. You're saying that the people in the building signed that they were okay with you. Are you the people with families or children? They signed the petition that they were okay with you with those hours?
Absolutely. So the direct tenants above, there's two tenants that live directly above the space. I speak to them on a daily basis, and they're fully 100% aware of what I'm doing in the space. I've showed them the soundproofing that we've done. We're testing out the soundproofing, make sure there won't be any issues, but it'll be mostly background music. It won't be played at a certain decibel level. And it's also stating in our lease that we have to keep the decibel level to a certain level. So it's not like, no, it's not going to be rowdy, a bunch of people,
Right.
not like nightclubs level, just background music playing through the house speakers pretty much.
And also
Are you
besides, I'm sorry.
are you thinking of having any security like on the weekends till 2 a.m.?
For private events, if we have a private event, we will have security just because we're aware of the community and we want to keep all our patrons safe as much as possible. And any if they're if we're a little bit busy, we want to make sure that everything, the sidewalk is clear. We don't we're not disturbing our neighbors and things like that. So we will definitely have that on premise for private events.
And in addition, in the backyard, besides the umbrellas that are going to have sound absorbing material, there's going to be a covering over the backyard.
We'll be installing a pergola. Yes, again, I forgot to mention that. We'll be installing a pergola over the backyard. So it'll be enclosed. So that's also will reduce the sound.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate your answer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Connie. Maxine, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate Mr. Jolly and certainly you, Mr. Bobs, in being respectful and saying that you will be mindful of the community and respect our children. I don't want to take over the meeting in any way, but I would also like to share with you that I am a member of the 71st Precinct Council and have been for many, many years. Most of the 40 years that I've been here, know the neighborhood very well and know the concerns. But thank you, Bobs and Jolly. Wine, beer, okay. Instead of positive example for our children, I could go with that. The music bothers me tremendously. As I explained to Bobs, okay, some jazz, maybe even have the children come in there and do some jazz and read, okay? But 11, 12 o'clock with that music, no, Miss Maxine is, and my neighbors, not just Miss Maxine, I speak for the community. Okay, and we are very concerned. We have had serious problems and had to work hard to change that culture and to reinstate and re-jump that culture is not a good deal. And I also have to reiterate that we have shown Black businesses, not just liquor stores, and that concerns me. Why is it just liquor stores and illegal smoke shops that are dumped on our corridors? Thank you, community.
Thanks, Maxine. Teresa, I see you have a question.
Yeah, I see a couple of people, I think this temporary retail permit, I wonder what that is exactly and why people are requesting it. And I too want to amplify the concerns that the community has for spaces. I think, with we want a friendly vibe, I guess, but a peaceful vibe. People, want to have fun, but kids need to sleep at night. People need to go to work. And we've had some problems in this area, like serious problems with businesses saying one thing and then coming back and doing another and making residents miserable who are in their building, and then coming to the community board over and over again and having to involve the community fairs, the precinct, just like it's terrible for everyone when that happens. So we just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with whatever happening, we want people to prosper and do well, but we also want to make sure our children and people that live there can get up and go to work in the morning and aren't just disturbed. So
can I answer the question on the temporary license?
Yeah.
So since we don't come under the 500-foot rule, we would qualify for a temporary license, which we would get about a month and a half to 2 months after filing. And the entire process to get our 2-year license would take 9 months. So at that point, not only the community board, but the state liquor authority will get a chance to see how we operate before they do approve the 2-year license. So in a way, it's better that we are getting a temporary. So the community board, the neighbors, and the state liquor authority will see how we operate our application for our license.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. I hadn't really noticed that before when I said in a meeting. Thank you for that explanation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions at this moment before we move on to the next applicant?
If you don't mind, can I say one thing, please? Just say one thing really quick. I just want to address Ms. Barnes. Ms. Barnes, thank you. I think we need both sides to have their views, and I appreciate that. I just want to address something really quick. I don't know if you remember this, and I don't want to say back in the days because I'm not trying to say you old, but I remember back in the days when I used to go out around 11 o'clock when you wanted people to leave, the music tone would change. So one of the things I think my brother and I both spoke about was we definitely want a type of vibe where you come inside, you feel different. You feel like you can come and relax. So with that being said, absolutely, with the soundproofing and with the type of music that's going to be going on towards the evening, I think you won't, I think literally you'll have to come inside and stand right by the speakers to hear it. Not saying that's always going to be the case, but like the gentleman said before, we're definitely going to make sure that we're conscious of what's going on, because we don't want this to be like a month and a half thing and then 9 months later we're out of business. So I just wanted to say that. And yeah.
Thanks, Jerry. Okay, so
Thank
now
you.
we're going to move on to our next applicant, which is the Mama Luisa Hero Shop. Do we have the representative here with us?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Julio, last name Hugo. I'm the owner, operator of Mama Luisa Hero Shop, which is on 609 New York Avenue. Our business hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are a third generation of family-owned business in the neighborhood. So we been in business for 8 years right now, but the store has more than 50 years, as some of you guys know. We are requesting a renewal of the beer and cider license. As you know, guys, our main seller we have is the Heroes. The store has been known for so many years for the Italian Heroes. So we, as I said before, we operate only Monday to Saturday. We are closed on Sundays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you guys have any questions or I'll be happy to answer to anybody.
Are there any questions at this moment? And this application is for a renewal.
That's correct, the renewal, yes.
Javi, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question? Or... Okay, I guess not. Thank you, Mr. Hugo. So at this moment, Mia will be in touch with, well, the board. We will vote on the application. So whether or not if we are going to approve this to go to our general board. And we will do that towards the end of this meeting. We do not vote in front of applicants. So Mia will be in contact with you all throughout the week regarding the decision. I just want to thank you all for coming out tonight and telling us more about your businesses. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the district office. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Zhang, I see you have a
Janelle,
question.
Janelle,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I wasn't able, my mic wasn't working. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. I just forgot to put down my hand. I'm
oh,
sorry.
no, you're absolutely fine.
Okay.
Zhang, I see you have a question.
Yes, Ms. Barnes. I want to ask her a question.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, I want to ask Ms. Barnes a question. I wanted to know what was the name of the association she was part of again? I
The
heard
200 Sterling Street Block Association between Rogers and Nostrand. You got that, Mr. Charles?
200 strong.
200, yeah, we strong too, but 200 Sterling Street
Oh,
Block
Sterling.
Association between Rogers and Nostrand Avenues.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Barnes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So I think we can move on to our next agenda item, which it's really just an update for you all. So there is an Office of Cannabis Management presentation that was shared with me, and I will share it with you all. It basically outlines the roadmap to adult use cannabis licensing, and then it also outlines the roles of community boards when it comes to these OCM applications. I know in our last committee meeting, we had a conversation regarding how we will be looking at these applications and how we will be reviewing them. And as I mentioned, this is something that is still ongoing. This is a completely new process. So, you know, we're going to approach this. We're trying to be as efficient as we can, because we will get a really high influx of applications. And I can just share with you all right now that it's looking like, you know, somewhere around 20 applications we'll have in January, right? So we will have a high number of applications. So it's important that we're extremely efficient, because we still will be reviewing liquor license applications as well as too. So more to come on that. Are there any like questions, comments, concerns regarding this? I know there's a lot of concerns. But if you all can just be cognizant of everyone's time, we want to make sure that we are ending our meeting closer to 8:30. That would be great. But if you have any concerns or questions, like, please feel free to voice them. Maxine, I see you have your hand raised. Yep.
Yeah, for another few minutes of your time. I mentioned earlier the New York City Councilwoman, Joanne. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Joanne Arola of the District 32, I believe, that she independently went into an illegal smoke shop to purchase and to have it closed. I would ask, the community would ask that this public safety committee put in a resolution to shut down the Fly High. And it's not funny to us. Our children go back and forth and past that every day, and I have witnessed them going in. It's a serious problem. To author a resolution to close, to shut down Fly High on Sterling Street between Nostrand, I'm sorry, on Nostrand Avenue between Empire and Sterling Street. Do I hear laughter? What is that?
No, I don't think anyone's laughing. I think there's like an echo. I'm not too sure if I'm the only one hearing
So
it.
yes, we request a resolution to close that. It is too close to Middle School 61 and too close in proximity to St. Francis of Assisi. The smells are horrible up and down, and we feel helpless. We watch our children go in and out of this illegal smoke shop. Thank you, community.
Thanks, Maxine. Ronald, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I have one question. I tried to get in last week and I couldn't get on. I don't know if you're aware of that. I think going forward, we probably need to take a look at that, because I tried multiple times and I ended up in the Parks and Recreation meeting
Oh,
But
we
I
didn't
kept
meet last,
transferring back and forth, but I couldn't get in.
we didn't, we didn't meet last week, Ronald.
Not last week, the last meeting, I'm sorry.
Oh, the last,
I'm obviously talking about the last
oh, the last,
scheduled meeting last month. But the issue of the smoke shops, I agree with Ms. Barnes, throughout our community, and also with the alcohol issue, that this is prevalent and we need a diversity of businesses. And I think we are being inundated with alcohol and drugs, and we need to do something to curtail that, and particularly take a hard look at the smoke shops. I particularly think that they cause a very serious problem to our community. That's it. That's just my piece.
thanks, Ronald. Kavi, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I actually wanted to talk to Ronald. I wanted to talk to all the people that are in the community around there. Because from what I understood is that anyone that requests from us to get a license, if they've been open illegally before, they're automatically banned from getting a license. So we really need the neighborhood to mark down any stores that they know that they've gone into and that illegally are being run right now, because the way that we can help you is by not giving them the license because they were open illegally before. Am I correct, Janelle? That's what I was told before, that if they're open illegally before, then they forfeit a license once it becomes legal. Is that correct?
I believe that is the case, but I do want to probably clarify that with Mia before I say, like, yes, that is absolutely correct. So that's something, let's clarify
May
that.
I comment, Miss Janelle?
I see Teresa has her hand up. I just don't want,
Okay, no problem.
if it's quick, you can go, if it's quick, you can go ahead, but I don't want to like skip anyone.
I'm sorry, Miss Westerdahl. Just to build on what Ms. Cohen said, as I believe what the process is, we as a community board do not have the authority to completely stop a smoke license, one of those recreational licenses, because they could still override us on the higher levels, but they'll take our opinions, they'll weigh in on it heavily. But if there is any smoke shop that's illegal, we're taking note of all of that and presenting it to the next levels in order to punish the bad doers, the bad actors, from being able to progressively move forward. That's the information that I had received.
Okay, so in other words, how are we punishing them? By not giving them a license, by not approving a license for them? How are they being punished, the ones that are illegal?
Again, from my understanding, as I was told, we do not have the authority to completely stop store from being able to get their license. But the steps that's after us, they will take what we recommend into consideration heavily. So we have an obligation, if we know of these smoke shops that are operating illegally, to sit down and present this to people like Miss Hilton, and she'll bring it to the general board, and we will tag these shops, so when they do try to legalize their illegal activities, they're already flagged. Now, from my understanding, is that automatically going to stop them from being able to get a license? I'm not going to say yes, because this community board does not have the authority to do so. But the next steps after this community board will take that into consideration very heavily
to punish these individuals that's been operating illegally. That's how I understood it.
Just to piggyback off of Zhang, so our power goes as far as recommending them versus not recommending them, right? Community boards do not have a role in the board's process to approve or deny any other cannabis license types. So that's as far as our power goes in this. Just wanted to share that for everyone's awareness.
Right. So I think that Teresa and everyone that's in all the community members that are very concerned about this, we're not able to go around the entire, our entire community board 9 and find every illegal. So we really need to know from the community the names of these places so that we can, when they come up for a license, at least we will be aware that they were open illegally before.
Thanks so much, Kavi and Zhang. Teresa, do you still have a question regarding this? I see you have your hand
Yeah,
up.
I've had my hand up. I do. I do want to speak about it. The concern is that having a smoke shop, an illegal smoke shop, gray area smoke shops, they can open up pretty randomly. They're not licensed at all. They just open up, and there's difficulty shutting them down. You don't really know who owns them, who's paying, who's on the lease. I think there's been some discussion about holding the landlord responsible. I did send to all of you on that chat that you have the spreadsheet that Community Board 2 has related to all the questions they have regarding what's coming forth with the cannabis issues and questions that they have, because they're a little bit further in the process. So I hope everybody saw that and looked at that spreadsheet, so you could see what some of the questions they already have proposed and issues that they're having with the licenses that are coming before them. Questions like what you have here, they've gone through, as well as like one thing that they proposed is making the owner of the building who's renting have more responsibility. So opening up a new place there would not be able to happen. I hope that makes sense. Like the owner would have responsibility rather than the renter. They'd have a different responsibility for the licenses. And the liquor licenses are similar. Like we give our opinion, but ultimately the liquor authority decides. Ultimately the cannabis group will decide. We give our comments, and I think we do need to have concerns when you have a cannabis place right next to a bar. I think there should be a spacing between them. Aren't there supposed to be spacings between businesses with liquor licenses as well as cannabis? I believe that's I'm not sure what that is, and we can't really depend on Mia to bring things before the board. I mean, we board members need to do that, and that should be done at the executive board meeting as well. So I hope that makes some sense. I really am not into having too many of one thing in one area, and that's what's happening in that. And on Empire, on from Empire down Nostra Avenue, it seems like there's a conglomerate of these type of establishments, and there's buses, there's subways, there's a lot of young kids going through that area, and there shouldn't be so many businesses of that nature there. They need to be spread out. And we've only have one legal license in all of Brooklyn that's going to happen so far, correct? Does anybody know?
Can you repeat that last part, Teresa?
We only have one business that's actually in Brooklyn that's been on the ground storefront that it has applied so far, right? I believe in our district there's one, but I don't think it's been approved. It used to be like selling pet supplies, and now they have their approval. But is it open yet?
I'm not able to confirm that. Khaled, would you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I have that marked down to speak to the team about tomorrow.
All right, thank you, everybody, for listening.
And the question about the space in between liquor, liquor licenses and smoke shops, I'm gonna give you that answer. I'll find that answer for you, Ms. Westerdahl.
Yeah, the distances between the liquor establishments, wine, beer, I think you're not supposed to have so many in a certain area. And
Yeah.
I think that the cannabis stores should be similar. Like you shouldn't have like a lineup of, you could see how that could lead to problems, right? Cannabis, liquor, you know.
I posed that question earlier, Tara, without an answer,
Oh,
but thank you. And the name of the establishment is called Fly High. I said that as well.
Yeah, but isn't there four? There's like 4 places.
Yeah, there's
there.
4 or 5, all illegal. I believe that the numbers is 1,500 1,500 smoke shops, New York State wide, and only 4 legal in New York State. I can't give you the specifics for Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think
But
right
I
in the
asked the
area, there's
question
like
about
4 or
having
5 of them.
the congested opening of these smoke shops and liquor stores on Nostrand Avenue. I asked that question earlier, but thank you for repeating it. And I also asked for a resolution and brought up what one of our esteemed councilwomen did. I even went to the floor of the council and spoke with Rita Joseph, who brought it to the floor and spoke wonderfully. I asked tonight for a resolution to close Fly High.
All right, can we make a resolution to close them all, the gray area illegal selling in that area? Including, that one seems to be the most prevalent problem. I think somebody on the committee would have to propose the resolution. I don't think we can do it. I'm not on this committee, so I can't do it. Sorry, Maxine. Or I would.
I don't think we have the full board, all the full board members here and community resident members here. No. I am in full support of this. I just think this is something that we need to like fully flush out and think through.
Resolutions are just, they're just advisory. So it's easy to just make one simple and then put it through rather than spending too much time on it. That's what I've seen, people will. If you guys want the gray area smoke shops, I guess it's, you don't want to do that, but that's okay. Sorry to hear that.
And then one of the things I just want to say that this has to be like a joint effort, right? So if you're in the community and you see a cannabis dispensary, right, that's operating illegally or they're doing something wrong, bring it to the committee, bring it to the board as a whole, right? This has to be like a joint effort. And you don't know what you don't know. So if there is a business that is doing something shady that's within your area, I wouldn't know because, I may not be in that specific area, right? So it's important that we're like bringing this to the committee and bringing this to the, just the board in general, because this is just not a one man or one woman effort. Zhang, I see you have your hand up.
I'm sorry if this up is by mistake. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
This has actually been brought up to the at the community council many times. I mean, I brought it up to the at the Board of Ed when the head of the Board of Ed who lives in our neighborhood was there. He agreed too, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. I think we're relying on law enforcement who doesn't really have, the NYPD can't. It's like a conundrum. That's why we're having the problem. It was poor planning, and I think just having our voice as a community, we recognize that we don't approve of it, is advisory and is helpful for us all.
Yes, and we're bringing it up tonight. We're bringing it up on with the Public Safety Committee tonight. It would be wonderful to see you guys take the initiative.
Rather than ignore a big problem. I mean, how much more information do we need? Maybe you're just afraid of making resolutions.
I'm just curious to hear everyone else's thoughts. Does anyone else would like to speak regarding this? Ronald, I see you.
I think it's good. I don't think it can hurt. Even if we have limited authority in terms of the outcome, I think we have to establish where we stand in regards to this issue. And we want to bring attention to it and whatever resources that are available to minimize the opening of these stores or the proliferation of these shops. I think we're obligated on some level to say, you know, this is how we feel one way or another. We want the people who are responsible to know that as a community, we don't necessarily approve of this, and whatever resources can be brought to bear to minimize the encroachment of these shops in our community, because it undermines the stability of our community and of our youth, I believe, taken as a whole, particularly with the new businesses that are focused on selling alcohol. I don't know what it takes, but whatever I can do, whatever we can do, we should do something. I think it's healthy to have some kind of statement. That's all I got.
Yeah, so I'm fully supportive of this. You know, I am a new board member, so I've never done a resolution before. Khalid, if you can just advise on how we would go about doing this, that would be great.
Yes. So in terms of resolution, it will have to be brought up by the the members of the committee, and it will get voted on, then passed on when you bring up your notes at executive board.
You do it like this. You say like, I so-and-so make a motion for a resolution, and then you can say whatever you like. And
Okay,
then somebody seconds it, and then somebody seconds it.
I say, I make a motion that we should make a resolution. I definitely think that's something where I think we pretty much all agree on, and I make a motion, we should make a resolution. Let us make a statement that in Community Board 9, we are not happy with this decision to open up these smoke shops all over our community.
Yeah, you just have to when you do the resolution, you just have to make it clear what you want, you know, like to close them down. Just, it could be simple, you know, sometimes they're longer where you do like whereas, therefore, but you could just make a simple one sentence, even 2 sentences. And then you make the motion, and then somebody seconds it, and then you vote on it. It's Robert's Rules of Order. I actually went to classes for this that the board offered, you know, through Reynoso. I went to those classes, so I'm just trying to help everyone. Does that help? Am I helping?
No, it's actually
okay. I don't know, Janelle, maybe you want to make a motion, and what are we asking for?
Kaveh, yeah.
I don't know if Janelle's the chair, so I don't know.
Chair.
Yes,
It has to be from other committee board.
Chavi did it right. You just have to be like, who's ever taking notes has to write it down and then repeat it. Somebody seconds it, and then you just put it before the main board after, you know, to vote on.
Zhang, did you get that?
So Chavi, repeat your motion.
Okay, so yeah, so I move to make a motion, for resolution. I believe in general the smoke shop should not be close to any kind of business that sells alcohol, period. That's a first resolution. I don't know if I can make a resolution to close I make a resolution to close down all the illegal smoke shops, period.
Yeah, I think you can make a resolution for just about anything. You know, they're advisory. This isn't super serious, you know, anything we say here. So it's good to experiment, everyone.
Okay, anybody second my motion?
I second your motion.
Good job.
Janelle, I think we're in business.
And I think you're gonna have to take a vote now, right? Like, are all in favor? If anybody's opposed, then you might have to take a vote. I don't, as long as you have quorum. Do they have quorum, Khalid?
Yeah, we do.
That's great.
Yes.
I have a question, please.
Yes, go ahead, things.
All right, I see Kat B has her hands up, so and she hasn't spoke, so I don't want to stay too long. First and foremost, everything Teresa said is right and exact. I have actually a small little pamphlet that has the rules and regulations, and everything Teresa said is in bounds of what the document says. A person has to make a motion and someone has to second it. Then after that, then it gets to get voted on. But the question that I have for Khalid is now I'm not a community board member. I'm a community board resident member. So my question to you, Khalid, is may I make motions and may I second motions?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe you can. Just let me check on that for you. Just give me 2 minutes.
You
No
definitely
problem.
can.
But I
Because
believe so you
was, I
can. But
was a
let me just make
community.
sure from the board that it's fine, so I'm not, overstepping no boundaries or putting you in a bad position, depending on what you want to do.
Okay. So
Just
now, just to be clear for my notes, Kavi, she had two motions because there was only one motion that was seconded. She had a motion to not have smoke shops so close to each other, and in the back and forth, it was mentioned to close down illegal smoke shops. So for the purpose of clarity in the record, I need to know exactly which motion was motioned and if that motion was seconded, just for my note taking.
Saying, I think Kavi mentioned closing, and Kavi, please correct me if I'm wrong, closing down any smoke shops that are close to businesses that are selling alcohol. Was that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's a motion that was seconded by Janelle. Thank you.
And then
I think it was seconded by Slati Muchkin.
Muchkin.
Yep.
Oh, it was seconded by Slot. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Janelle's the chair, so I don't know if she can.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm learning too, everyone. I'm just trying, it's just good for us to be able to do actions on these committees, because that's how it's supposed to work. You talk in the committees, you get the action happening, and then the board votes on it. So it's good. It's really good practice.
We appreciate it.
I was very nervous about doing all of this. Honestly, I still am, but I'm working through it. Thank you.
I had a question regarding that. Being that we started the meeting getting approval from the board about who can push forward with having an establishment that has liquor sales, I'm curious, what is the process of the smoke shops and how they're able to obtain leases, and are they not going through anything of the community? They're just popping up with leases done by independent landlords. And if that is the case with the landlord side, what is the community looking to do when it comes to these landlords in our area? Because it is also the landlord's responsibility and fault to what's happening and changing in the neighborhood.
Thanks for your question, Kat. One thing I will say that there's just so many nuances when it comes to these Office of Cannabis Management applications. And it's a very, very, very new process. And one of the things that we're trying to work on is getting a representative from OCM into one of our public safety committee meetings, just because I think there's still a lot of confusion about how these individuals are able to obtain leases and things of that sort. So one thing I will say is that we are working to gather more clarity regarding that. As far as community involvement, the it's very limited, especially when it comes to these OCM applications. In terms of engagement with like the community boards, that is as far as there is community engagement when it comes to these applications. You know, and boards, we technically don't even have a role in approving or denying these applications. So I believe that's as far as community like involvement goes when it comes to this. But also too, right? I could be wrong, but Khaled, do you have any insight into that?
Yeah. Yes, the answer to the past question was Zhang. Only the committee members can vote for the resolution.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're good. And then you just repeat that second question, Janelle? Sorry.
Yeah, so Kat B, she wanted to know you know, what does community involvement look like in terms of like these applications? And then also you had another question regarding the leases, right, Kat? Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, like how the community can get involved with the landlords that are approving and allotting for the leases for these smoke shops that are popping up in the area.
Okay. Well, the latter, I'm not familiar with that, but I have that marked down to follow up. With you, I can follow up with Janelle. She has your contact information. And we're strictly advisory, right? So the community, you know, weighs in on items that come in, and then that the you know, SLA or the cannabis management looks at those comments, but it's not they look at those comments to see if, you know, if the community approves it or denies it, but it's strictly up to them and those authorities to decide on it. We're strictly just you know, advisory, just to get a voice on what the community thinks on certain applications. Hope that answers your question.
Janelle, can we just take a vote on the motion? Because we're gonna have to take a vote on the motion in order for it to go through.
Yeah, sure.
So all in favor of, is it a unanimous vote for the resolution that smoke shops should not be allowed to open up close to a any kind of business that serves alcohol? Does everyone agree with that resolution?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that's unanimous, Janelle.
So I will take this to the executive committee.
Okay.
Zhang, do you have a question?
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so is everyone okay with us moving on to our next topic? I just wanted to share a brief update regarding the CPR and fire safety training. So we were scheduled to have the CPR and fire safety training this month. However, the CPR training, it was postponed due to, and you know, everyone, I thank you for all who have reached out to me. Unfortunately, my father did pass right after Thanksgiving, and I wanted to be fully present and fully engaged in this event. So I made the executive decision to reschedule it. So we will be planning for this sometime in the new year. And in terms of the fire safety training, we have a new date of January 7th. That's a Sunday, and it's going to be from 1 to 2 o'clock. And we had to change that just because the apartment complex, which is Tivoli, they weren't able to accommodate us on December 17th. So we had to change the date. So it will be from January 7th again, from 1 to 2. And we are working on a flyer that we will be sending out to the community and to all community board members and residents. Maxine, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to be clear what I asked and my community residents we talked about, and that was a moratorium to close is specifically Fly High, the illegal smoke shops on Nostrand between Empire and Lefferts Boulevard. I can't make a motion, but community resident members can make a motion. And to close all, the motion that was made was pretty obvious that you're not going to give and license and allow a smoke shop to open moving forward, a legal one. That's pretty obvious that you're not going to give them a license or allow them to open next to, I hope, ideally, a bar or a liquor store. But the motion that I wanted was to close the illegal that are already open on Nostrand, close to our children's schools and our church, on Nostrand between Empire and Lefferts Boulevard. Am I making myself clear? Anyone?
Yes, you are making yourself clear. And one thing I will say that I think that it's important for us to not, and obviously whatever input anyone else has, it's greatly appreciated in this situation, but I don't think that we should necessarily single out a business. I feel like we should keep it open because we're going to have other businesses that are operating illegally and doing things that are not beneficial to the community. So I think instead of singling out one business, it should be open to all that are, acting, that are basically like, operating illegally and that are not doing good things in the neighborhood. But that is just my input. Not too sure if anyone else feels differently regarding that. Please share your thoughts.
Hello. We could make a motion to, I don't know if this is clear, to deny applications for those existing shops that are operating now within the community, or to close and deny applications to those existing smoke shops in our community.
Yes, illegal ones. Yes, thank you.
Illegal ones.
You have your hand up saying you can go ahead.
Mr. Banks and Ms. Barnes, just to respond to what you said, Mr. Banks. As I said earlier, from my understanding, the community board does not have the authority to stop these illegal establishments from getting these from getting these cannabis licenses. I believe, I forgot who it was, but I believe Janelle said, she actually said at 8:13 p.m. that reporting these illegal shots has to be a joint effort. So like when you're like with Ms. Barnes, she's continues saying about the Fly High. We're not ignoring her at all because we understand the importance of what she's saying. So from my understanding, someone like Janelle is taking notes. Like I keep meticulous notes in my minutes, and I could say that I have everything what Miss Barnes said at 7:22. She was voiced that crime was an issue. Like I can go back and forth in my minutes. So I promise you, I'm noting down everything you guys are saying. And once you see the minutes that I composed after every meeting, you'll all agree it's very meticulous and I did not miss a thing. So just keep in mind that I'm hearing everything and I'm writing everything and we're passing it on. But this community board, from my understanding, does not have the authority to say, you guys are not going to get your license and you guys are going to get your licenses and you're not going to get your licenses, etc.
I understand that. I just thought that you could make a moratorium because some have been closed. Several have been closed. The OCM, Office of Cannabis Management, or whatever the acronym is, has closed illegal ones. I understand that you're advisory and you don't have the ability to deny a new application. What I and my residents wanted to know if you could close. Well, you can't even close, but you could say, I advise that you close this forum, These are legal smoke shops on Nostrand Avenue between Empire and Lefferts. But thank you, Mr. Jacques. I'm sure those minutes are going to be exactly on point, and I look forward to seeing them.
Yes, ma'am. I give you my word. I trust me when I was asking you questions such as the exact name of your associations for a reason. Like my notes are always meticulous, ma'am.
Awesome. Thanks, Maxine, and thanks, Zhang.
Yeah, thank you, Zhang, for meticulous notes. That's really nice to have.
Yes, ma'am.
I read all those notes just so you know somebody's reading them.
At this moment, is there anything, so we're moving to open discussion. Is there anything that anyone would like to briefly discuss or bring to our attention before we adjourn our meeting for tonight?
I'll bring something up. We've had a lot of safety issues in at the construction site on Bedford Avenue, Sullivan, and Empire. Used to be the Firestone, and they're building there. And we've had cave-ins in the sewer system, cracking of the sidewalk, the sewers being washed out. We've made complaints and things just seem to get worse today. The construction there is so bad. Last night, the wind came. It was a big windstorm, of course, you all know. And we had a lot of branches fall in my neighborhood, a lot of big branches. They're not taking care of those. But anyway, the construction site, the way that the wind hit it and the way that they've set up their the brackets around it, scaffolding, it all bent. And it's a huge site and it's all bent. And the one DOB guy was there putting up safety tape and somebody had starting to rip it down. It's super hazardous over there. And I mean, I'm at my wit's end with it. You know, it's horrible. I walk by there every day and it's scary, and a lot of it could be avoided. And we've made numerous complaints. I live right up the street. It's right on the corner of Everett's Field. Like, does Beverly? Oh no, Beverly's not on here. Beverly Newsom lives in Ebbets, I know, but it's a bad situation. So I don't know what to do. I just want everybody to be aware. I mean, it's the way the wind was blowing and the way they bent, like they're supposed to be like this, right? And they were all like this, blowing toward the street on one side. It's a huge project. So they're not following safety regulations there, obviously, again and again and again. So that's my complaint and my fear and my concern. So I don't know if safety committee can do anything about that. But I mean, it's flooding too, where they were dumping the concrete in the corner. It's flooded now. It was all in a big flood. I took pictures. I made my complaint. I know somebody else made a complaint because the DOB, one guy was there trying to put a cautionary tape, but people aren't able to get to the bus because of it. Kids are walking, elderly people. There's a lot of people live in Ebbets and Tivoli Towers that walk down to that corner to get buses, you know, and subway. And it's bad news, everyone. So thanks for listening.
I've been on that corner many times. I agree. And I think it's though winding down. I think it's a very temporary project, but while it's going on, it's awful. Janelle, can I just ask something? You said that next month there might be 20 applications that we're going to have to review.
Yes.
Okay. Could you try to give us a little bit of a heads up, like at least a week, even if we don't see the applications the way they're attached to the board meeting notice, if we could even just get a list, because I'd be happy to walk over to each and every one of them and see if it's an existing shop or if it's a new shop.
Yeah, for
some legwork, but I can't do it if I only have 2-day notice.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely
Okay.
check in with the district office to see if
Okay.
it's for us when that time comes closer.
Okay, good. I personally want to vote no on every single solitary application. I want these applicants to know Board of 9 does not stand behind these shops. But like whoever said before, it's a little bit of a moot point because they can go beyond us, but I feel right saying no.
Did you say 20 applications are coming next time?
Yes.
So there's somewhere, I mean, it could change, right? The number can change. It could be more, it could be, let's not hope more, but it could be more or less. But yes, somewhere around that number. I've heard from some other boards that they've had 40 applications in a month.
Wow.
So this is, yeah, something that's real and it's coming. Yeah. Are there any other questions, concerns, comments? If there is not, I am going to move a motion that we adjourn this meeting. Would anyone second that?
A second.
I'll second.
I was about to say, nobody wants to adjourn?
We're all on mute and pause. Okay.
Everyone, good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
God bless.
Have a happy holidays, everyone.
Okay, very good. We'll
Have a
see you
good holiday,
Thursday.
everyone.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Holidays.